everybody? We are back. It is Safe to Launch, favorite podcast, favorite channel, favorite everything. We are back. You guys already know what to do. Hit the subscribe button, subscribe. Hit the like button if you like it. Hit the dislike button if you don't like it. Leave a comment if you like it. Leave a comment if you don't like it. Also follow us on Twitter at the Mark John NFL for me, at mholder95 for Matt, and of course, pandasubs.com, discount code TDL for 25% off. All right, guys. So we're back today. We're gonna be looking at Ashton Genty as a receiver and Darien Porter. Once again, I try to kind of focus on press coverage when I did Darien Porter, but it's just not enough press coverage for me to just do a whole video on it. So, but there's a lot of press coverage. I tried to focus on it, so you're gonna see mostly press, but I did add some zone in there. And then Matt's gonna be going over Ashton Genty as a receiver. So. It's a little switch, me and Matt's doing the offense today. I'm doing the defense. It's a little switch here. I wish Matt would agree to that last season, but
we'll see how this season goes. We'll see how if this season goes well for you offensively, maybe I'll be willing. I don't know. The way they're treating me on the defensive side of the ball, getting rid of all my guys and not really replacing them, versus the offense they're reloading. I don't know. We might have to switch it up.
Maybe, man. Maybe. All right, so nothing really else going on in Raiders land. There's a John Spytek interview. I saw that, but I haven't watched it yet. And then, I don't know.
He just gave Jeanty some love, like basically kind of like, it's funny. He compared him to Bucky Irving, and my first thought was, yeah, but you took Bucky in the 4th round. But like, and it was basically what he was comparing him to was like, in like the fact that like they couldn't make the first guy miss, which I think is a fair comparison, because obviously Jeanty can make the first and the second guy miss a lot of times, and then Bucky Irving, just watching him through his days at Oregon, and even when we were studying that for that Bucks game, like he's a fun back to watch because he's the same way. He makes that first guy miss. So yeah, other than that, kind of hit that lull, that dead period with the summer coming up.
Yeah, ain't nothing going on. I mean, OTAs, when this show is out, you'll see probably OT has already been happening, but we'll hear about, of course, like I said before, Geno Smith just looking like a quarterback. I think this is going to be exciting for the Raider sports writers being out there. They're going to be excited about that. They're going to be excited about seeing a quarterback. But today, like I said, we're just doing Darien Porter and Ashton Genty as a receiver. So we'll be looking at those two guys. So what'd you think about Ashton Genty as a receiver?
It's funny. We were talking about it like a little bit like before the show. And like, I mean, one of the big things for me is like, okay, I'm not going to really bother watching like this past season, because I mean, he had 23 catches for 138 yards. I got the stats in front of me. Didn't have that memorized, just for transparency here. So I'm like, I'm not even going to bother with this season's like as far as him catching the ball. I went back and watched last year where he was really productive, 44 grabs for 578 and 5. But I was like kind of like unimpressed with him as like a receiver and the receiver skills, because basically what they just did was just give him a lot of long handoffs at the end of the day. Like they would use him on a lot of swing routes, a lot of screens, and then some check downs every now and again. And he showed some like decent traits. Like I think he has pretty good hands. Like it's funny, you'll see him on a couple of these plays like make a good like strong like hands catch versus like, running backs a lot of times like to catch it in the body and stuff like that, and he has a good adjustment on another. And like PFF, they had him with just one drop in his first 2 years on about, roughly 60 targets, a little bit more than that. I think my math's off a little bit here, like 65 targets. And then this past year he had 3. So like regress went the opposite way. But yeah, like that's kind of was my main takeaway is like last season when he was most productive as a receiver, like it wasn't like he was running a ton of choice routes out of the backfield, or a lot of like even backfield routes. It was really just long handoffs and like just getting him the ball in space and giving him like that ability to play what I just call basketball on grass, get 3-on-3, 4-on-4 out on the perimeter and spread defenses out. And then that's where his shiftiness and ability to make guys miss can really become a big factor in the passing game. But yeah, it wasn't like the one choice route I saw him run was actually when I was watching him against Penn State, and it wasn't like very effective. So I don't know. I know you said you've seen him do a few more routes and they expanded it a little bit this past season, but it's weird that his production not only dipped, but took like a significant dip, and they expanded his route tree this past year.
Yeah, so I was interested in what you're saying right now. I just wanted to look it up, and they changed offensive coordinators. I think that was a big.
Oh, okay.
They went to Dirk Cutter, who's the offensive coordinator.
That's right.
Right, so it went from Bush Hamden to Dirk Cutter. Right, so I guess that, I mean, it kind of. I guess Dirk Cutter is like, I'm gonna run you to death, and then the other guy was like, hey, let's get you the ball any way we can. So
Well, it was interesting. So Cotter was there. He'd been like an advisor or whatever. Like he's a Boise State guy. Like ever since he got fired, I can't remember where if his last stop was with the Bucks or with the Falcons, but wherever his last stop was in the NFL, I think since then he's like just kind of been around Boise. And then this past year, like he took over as the OC. I think they might have fired their guy in the offseason or maybe he left or something like that. But also in the year before, like they had another running back who I think signed as an undrafted free agent with the Seahawks, I want to say. His name's slipping my mind right now. So I think that was part of it too, is like at the beginning of the year. Now that guy got injured and then came back like halfway through the season. So I think at the beginning of the year last year, they're like, all right, we'll use Jeanty as Genty's going to be our change of pace guy. And then again, when we want to get him in the when we want to throw the ball and keep it to the short passing game, we'll throw him in there because Boise State's quarterback play hasn't been great the past 2 years. Kind of not a ton of NFL arms, I would say.
Yeah. even that one guy Malachi, right? Wasn't it Malachi something?
Yeah, the guy that started the year last year. Was he like number 10? Yeah.
He's supposed to be like some big recruit too, wasn't he? He's supposed to be like some big time recruit. That's crazy.
Are you thinking about the guy that was from USC? Because I think that was his past year. He transferred to USC and then couldn't win the job or something like that. Yeah, I think I was thinking the year before, like number 10, they had like a taller, skinnier black dude who was playing quarterback, and then that Maddox dude was the backup. So I can't even remember their names. Yeah, shorter guy.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, well, I'm excited to watch that. See what Ashton Genty does as a receiver. Doesn't sound too exciting, but we're gonna get into it.
All right. It's exciting. It's exciting. It's just not like very advanced. It's not like a receiver like type of stuff. But trust me, you have a couple of these plays where you'll be like, all right, I remember seeing this guy.
Yeah. All right, and like I said at the beginning of the show, I try to focus on Darien Porter in press coverage as much as I could. It's just like Darien Porter didn't play. He doesn't play a lot of snaps, so that's why I was like, I feel like I was like zooming in through half the game, and then it was like, you know what I mean, fast forwarding through half the game.
Yeah.
But what was interesting to me too is when Iowa State took him out, like especially the ASU game, like ASU just went right up and down the field on them. Like Darien Porter's in the game, like ASU was having a little bit of struggles, right? Trying to get passes off and scoring touchdowns. And then he would come out of the game and they go do. It was just like a touchdown. And even some other games I was watching, like against Cincinnati, same thing happened. So it was just super. That was weird. I thought that was weird. I'm like, why is your best player not on the field? If you like.
Yeah, I remember when I watched him like before the draft, I was trying to figure out, I'm like, are they like trying to take him out in like run situations or something like that? But it was weird. Like I think I can't remember if it was Iowa or somewhere, or maybe it was Texas Tech that the game I was watching. But like there was one team that like very clearly was just motioning receivers and like getting him to like play in the box and like having their tackle, having him try to like set the edging of the tackle. And like, okay, I understand taking him out in that response, or that situation. But yeah, for some reason they would weirdly like just take him out for stretches of the game, and I couldn't figure out why. It wasn't because he was giving up a ton of completions. He only gave up 5 all year.
Yeah, exactly. And I think he's pretty good in press coverage. I thought that he's able to use his length. He does a good job. He doesn't open the gate too early. I mean, there's I only saw him get beat once really in press coverage. That was against Texas Tech, but besides that, I mean, like even against like Jordan Tyson and some of those guys, man, he was legit. He looked really legit out there playing against ASU, and just when he got a chance to play, and then added in some zone coverage reps where I think he's really smart player. I think that he understands zone coverage really well, and I think that's going to benefit him because I think there's a chance that he might be the starter week 1. I think there's a chance of that he might be out there as the guy on one of these sides. I don't know who their starting corners are going to be at this point. And I guess maybe OTAs will tell us a little bit who's 1, who's 2 tomorrow. And we'll talk about that later on this week. But I wouldn't be surprised if he was a starter because I think just from a zone perspective and just press coverage perspective, he just didn't get beat that much. You know what I mean? Especially deep.
Yeah.
Like, he never really got beat at all, and I think that really stands out to me on film. It's like if you're not getting beat at all, and if you are getting beat, it's like on a slant. Yeah, I'll take a slant over a go route. You get beat on go routes, You know what I mean? So I thought it was really positive to watch to kind of just get a good feel on him again. But yeah, I was pretty impressed with that overall. I thought he seemed like he's gonna be a good player.
I mean, you touched on why I love the guy so much pre-draft is because, again, he can play press man and be effective in there, and he can play zone and be effective in that. I mean, can't ask for much more in the corner than for a guy that can play man and zone coverage. Obviously that's the crux of the job there.
Yeah, especially with that athleticism, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like with the athleticism that he has, yeah, there's a lot of potential there for him to become a wide receiver, a cornerback one, in my opinion. So just with the athleticism and the length and the size and all those things, it all adds up to that. So, but we'll see what he does on the football field and if it actually translates. But it's there. You know what I mean? It's there.
Yeah.
All right. Let's just get into Darien Porter. All right. So, looking at Darien Porter here, like I said, I started some of these reps of him in coverage here, in press coverage. Try to focus on that. So, what I like about this one here too, like I said, it's not a lot of opening the gate too early. Stay square here. You know, maybe you want to say get his hands on him earlier here and not give him kind of this free release, kind of disrupt it a little bit. Get your hands on him. But I mean, Tyson's a really good player, so if you miss, then it's a touchdown. So what I like though is how he kind of forces a tough throw, and I think Levitt's taking back shoulder here because he forces the back shoulder throw, in my opinion. So Levitt's taking back shoulder. I'm gonna throw it back shoulder. Jordan Tyson's thinking I'm gonna try to get this ball over the top. He's not looking for the football yet. So Porter's able to force that adjustment throw to a back shoulder, and this might just be a terrible throw. I mean, I might be making excuses here for Sam Levitt because I'm an ASU fan or something. I don't know, but it might just be an awful throw. But that's good coverage, though. I think that's especially against one of the better wide receivers in college football.
I mean, he's in a position like right now to cover both the back shoulder and the fade. You know what I mean? Yeah. Especially with them long ass arms.
Yeah. All right. So here's another one here. And you see him up here. So he's gonna be right here. It's Darien Porter right there. And what I like about this one too, like just staying square, not overcommitting to any like jab step or anything like that. You see the wide receiver kind of gives a quick little jab inside. He doesn't fall for it. He doesn't take the bait at all. Right? Stays with them right there. He's all over that. They end up getting a sack because of it. Let's see here. So, some people will say that maybe this isn't full on press coverage, but it is. I mean, he's playing in the slot, which I think is super interesting. I really like this rep because it kind of shows that maybe he could be a little versatile. He could maybe question the tackling, but like the game you talked about with Texas Tech, I thought in that game when he was playing the run, I just like his willingness to take on guards and stuff like that. He wasn't scared. Yeah. He ain't scared out there.
For sure. Sure. It was more of a size and strength issue than an effort issue for sure.
Yeah. But I mean, this is a great rep right here. So this is what you want to see right here. Boom.
And what I like about that too is like he's patient, but he's not flat-footed. Like you can see him like kind of like shuffle his feet and like widen a little bit where he's not going to get caught, like just being flat-footed, but he's also not like in a hurry to get out of there.
Exactly. All right, here's another rep in press coverage here against ASU. Just all over it. Now, I mean, I know this ends up being a run play here, but you just can see the press coverage, the ability in press coverage, right? He's just patient, trusts his speed too. He knows a lot of people aren't going to outrun him. He's just all over that. I mean, let's just say that they threw the ball over here. I mean, there's really nothing. He's pushing this guy to the sideline. Nothing there. All right. So here's at the bottom here against Texas Tech. Oh, my bad, it's Cincinnati. Against Cincinnati, the uniform is very similar, guys. It's very similar. So, like I said, another good rep. Now, you can say on this one that maybe, he gets beat here on this one, right? You could say that. Because I think he opens the gate a little bit early, right? Yeah. He kind of gives that guy the outside. Maybe he's expecting him to play the sideline and push to the sideline. But I think he kind of opens the gate just a little bit right there, right? And I believe he could stay square. He could stay in front of him, and he'd be able to have a better job of staying with him here. But I want to say, I mean, if this guy throws his football, I mean, this has to be a perfect throw.
Yeah,
this has to be a dime because if he doesn't, you can tell by his length, he's already kind of caught up to him. Like I said, he kind of got beat here, right? But he already caught up to him. I mean, if that ball's in the air, he might be able to find it. If it's underthrown, it's his. He still had the chance to knock that ball out. So it's more the recovery. Like, so that's what I'm saying. Like, maybe there's something you can clean up, right? But the recovery's still there. The speed, the natural ability. I mean, it's gonna have to take a really fast guy to beat him deep. Like, it's gonna have to be like a, like, well, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a fast guy that beat him deep. I don't know who that beat. Maybe like Tyreek Hill or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it have to be that type of player. All right. So here is once again here. This one against Texas Tech. I really like this rep here. Maybe this might be Cincinnati again. Sorry, guys, but I do like this rep. Because see, on this one, he doesn't open the gate, right? He's square, right? And then he's able to get his hands on him right there, able to ride him. And what I like about this route, you can see his athleticism here, because this guy's going to get outside. Maybe you could say there's a little bit of hold here, right? With that, but I thought he did a good job of not like grabbing jersey or anything like that. But you see, he's able to kind of flip his hips. And let's say that ball was coming, he can maybe really, if it's underthrown or something, he could drive on it. There's a lot of things he could do with this. You could just see his ability to sink his hips right here, boom, sink his hips, and not allow this guy to kind of get outside of him very easily.
Yeah. That's tough to do for a taller corner too. Drop those hips.
So this is Texas Tech, guys. We just figured that out there. All right, here's another rep here. Now, I mean, like I said, he doesn't get the ball here, but he's all over number 5 here. I mean, he's just all over him. He's able to get his hands on him. Like I said, staying square, right? And then he gets that left hand on them right there. And then, maybe he's trying to get an arm over there, but he's right next to him. I mean, even if he kept running deep or any route, he tried to get inside. I mean, he has this whole sideline, he's using the sideline. And then what I like about this one is how quickly he can stop. So you can see how he basically runs the route for him, right? The athleticism just pops off on the film. You can see how athletic he is. Ability to just sink his hips right there, boom, right there. Of course, it didn't do a good job tackling there, but he's able to help come clean up there. All right, so I believe this is the interception here. Yeah.
This is such a beautiful play.
Yeah, this is just top notch there. But this is what I'm saying in press coverage again here. Now, like I said, you saw the previous time where he didn't stay square, right? You see, this time he does, and he's able to close. There is no gap really, but if there was, he would be closing it. And he's running right with that guy. And what I love about this play is that him fighting the football, right?
Yeah.
You can maybe say he turned the wrong way, but it doesn't matter. It just shows his ball skills. He's able to find the football and then track it like this. And then he basically catches it with one hand, kind of.
He's such a freak, man.
Yes, man. That's why I really like this pick, because it's like if they hit on this, man, oh man, it's gonna be pretty special stuff here. It's like it's gonna be exciting to watch, because he just has great ball skills. I mean, he only had 17 targets. He had 3 picks. You know what I mean?
Yeah. 3 picks and 5 completions allowed.
Yeah, 2 of them were against North Dakota. So I don't know who that North Dakota guy that was working him.
Sign that guy up.
Yeah, right. But that's what I'm saying. Like, the ability to find the football here. Like I said, you can make the case he's turning the wrong way here. But just the ability to find the ball and then high point it like that right there. It's high pointing that football.
Yeah.
Great ball skills, great hands. I mean, that's the receiver, him going from receiver to corner, right? Which is super interesting. How athletic he is. I mean, he must not be able to catch, right? I mean,
well, if you remember, he had one where he should have picked. He should have had 4 picks, and he just completely dropped it when I did my breakdown.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. The athleticism, the speed, and the ability to sink your hips at that speed, man, at that height, speed, and all that stuff. Super interesting. Now, this one is a little bit interesting because, maybe you can make the case here. I like the position he's in right here, right? But I think that at this point where you're trying to get that hand on him a little too late, in my opinion. I think if you want to get your hands on him, I think you got to get your hands on him a little earlier.
Yeah.
Because you end up getting that hand on him late, he's able to just kind of push it off. It's a good route by the guy from Cincinnati. But I mean, he's lucky that they're in zone here because it kind of gets spinned around a little bit there. But I still think that maybe he might have kind of recovered and got in a good position there. But
yeah,
you kind of see this one.
That is like the one thing that I think he's kind of still figuring out is like how to jam. Like the clip you showed earlier, like he like was effective, but like he was super leaning on the receiver a little bit too much. And like this one, like you said, the timing's off. So I think he's still kind of getting a feel for that.
Yeah. Yeah. So he's got to get coached up on the NFL a little bit, but he kind of gets pushed off there, which kind of forced him to kind of spin around. So if they weren't running this like weird concept here where like everybody's running right next to each other,
yeah,
I think a little different.
That might have been a route break.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell they're doing over there. All right, so here we go on this one, which just showing a little bit of off coverage too. Now this one, like you could be like, okay, well he's about to get beat here, right? You see, like I said, good job shuffling. But what I like about this one, which ends up being an incomplete pass, kind of because of the ref, but even with the ref there, right? And I know he had to slow down. You can still see the recovery speed that he's catching up to this guy, right? He's close, like I said, it had to be a perfect throw, right? Which is what I like. Even when I feel like he's getting beat, or maybe he's in the NFL that's open, right? I mean, an NFL quarterback, they're gonna throw this ball, but maybe what he can do, like I said, because not every throw is perfect. I mean, not every throw is going to be right here. I mean, you don't play Joe Burrow every week where Joe Burrow is going to put the ball right there for T. Higgins. It's not going to happen every single week. I mean, it might be behind him. It might be he might have to be forced to stop, right? And he, with those long arms, he can get a pass defense. But you see, like he's right there because even look where this ball's being thrown, man. If this guy doesn't run and where he ends up and where the ball goes, I mean. He's all over that.
In this situation too, it's 3rd and long. Like I don't mind him. I'd rather him play deep and like just like play to rally and tackle. You know what I mean? Because like even if he gives up the catch at that point, like he's still got a chance to prevent the first down at least.
Exactly.
So protect the sticks a little bit more. I kind of like the awareness there. That's what I'm getting at.
Really mad the ref got in the way. You gotta avoid the ref, man. That's on you.
Hey man, use your surroundings as your advantage. Use the ref if you can.
Exactly. All right. So this is a zone rep that I really liked here. So on this one, he's gonna be playing cover 2. All right, playing a little cover 2 here. Or it might be cover 3. It might be a little. I guess it probably might be cover 3 here, technically, because they have 3 guys up here.
They rush 3, so they drop 8.
Exactly.
Hybrid
cover 3, cover 2 look. What I like about this one is like watch how quickly he drives on this flat route. Okay, so he's playing. Of course, he's going to give up this flat route all day, right? You're not going to try to allow this quarterback to throw here in between this zone here. But as soon as this ball's like floating in the air, and like watch like how quickly he's there. He's right there, and that's what I mean. Like just. Playing in zone, right? And maybe you could even make the case where you could put him in the slot at sometimes, right? At certain times, and he could be the curl flat player in cover 3, right? Because if you have this ability to kind of drive on the football like this with this great transition, like I mean, there's no wasted movement here in this transition here. It's just boom right there. He's going forward. I mean, even if it's a good pass, he's there to make that tackle. And if he makes that tackle, then he's got these other guys to clean up, and he just stops the guy, or even if he missed it, he still got all these guys to clean up because he's gonna be there to disrupt this player and make it another 2nd and long play here. So that's what I really liked about this one is just you can see his ability that he can maybe you can move him around a little bit. We saw him play press coverage in the slot. He has a good idea of what he can do in zone here, and then understanding that okay, I'm not gonna let this. I'm going to keep my eyes on the quarterback. I'm going to watch this curl route behind me, right? But now that he's checking down, I could just drive on this football like that. I mean, just, Still got in slow motion. Just like how many steps? Like 1, 2, 3, like 4, like 3 steps, guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah, those long strides, man, cover ground.
Yeah, man. And then here's another rep here against zone coverage, which ends up turning into a man coverage look. After they switch to cover 3 here, so they're in cover 3. But what I like about this one too, he has his eyes on both these guys. Okay, and he is a little bit in dead man's land here, but he had his eyes on both of these receivers, right? He kind of has on the peripheral, he has this guy behind him here, right? And what he does, as soon as he sees that out route, he knows that this curl flat player is going to be underneath it. So, I mean, he's got to throw it over this player. So what he does is, you see it one more time, he kind of just flips around. As soon as he recognizes that out route right there, he flips around and he's all over the deep route.
It's just such a natural speed turn too. Like it's smooth.
Yeah, it's just
like smooth and quick.
No wasted movement. That's what I was thinking. Like, this guy could really not catch. He can't catch at all, because I don't understand.
I mean, he might have had a hard time seeing the field with what was it, Higgins and Noel out there.
Yeah, that's it. Like, I mean, you're so athletic. We gotta do something with you, I guess.
Yeah, we gotta get you on the damn field. We just don't know where.
Oh man. All right, and last rep here on this one. So I really like this one. I really like this. This is why I think he's going to play early, okay? Because you see him kind of pointing out to the linebacker originally here, right? You see him kind of pointing out to the linebacker. That's your man. Boom. He's communicating, right? That the guy's running a drag route, right? I don't know if 23 listens, but I don't know exactly what they're doing. He's dropping, right? But what I like about this one, what you kind of see here, with this him playing curl flat again, is you see him kind of find this kind of, what was it, like a dig route here, it looks like. Yeah. He finds the dig route there, right? You see his eyes, like you see how he's seeing the whole field here. Mm-hmm. Let's say he's throwing this dig because, maybe that's window and he's kind of baiting him a little bit. He's going to like jump up and catch that ball, right? He's right there. Like, you can see where the play ends. Boom. He sees it. He's right there. And what I like too is he's not covering grass, right? Because let's say this guy did come out here, he's probably gonna have to drop here, which I think this is a bad concept by Cincinnati, anyways, because I don't know why, but whatever. And he sees that, okay, I'm not covering. There's nobody here. There's nobody over here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop back and get around this dig route, right? Force his quarterback to make a great throw. But of course, nothing really happens there. So. But I do really like this one. All right, my bad. One more rep here, guys. One more rep. So, kind of in off coverage a little bit on this one. Now, like I said, you can make the case here, like in the NFL, boom, like maybe Joe Burrow's like throwing this ball right now, and he's a little beat, right? But what I like is that even when Levitt lets his ball go, I mean, he's still kind of close where he could dive. He's got long arms. He's not beat, and it's a bad throw. He's picking it off. Right. So I do like the position that he still is in here on this one, even though he gets pushed off, gets a little beat by the physical tight end here. Like, you can just see how fast he catches up to him. And let's just say, I mean, Levitt just throws this ball. He's throwing this ball right here, right? He still has a chance to kind of get in there and maybe knock that ball down. Yeah, but that is Darien Porter. So that's Darien Porter, man. Like I said, I really like his film. I really like what he could do. On film, and I think going back and watching it again kind of solidified that for me. Like, okay, this dude could play. He could play, man. I mean, and he's raw as hell. That's the thing too. It's like, I mean, he is like basically a molder corner. That's why Pete Carroll has a molder corner. Basically, he's gonna turn him into whatever corner he wants to turn him into. And I think he's going to be able to flourish in this system just because the zone they play, the way he plays cover 3. Like I said, you could maybe move him inside a little bit on certain downs. You can feel comfortable with him playing in the slot because, like I said, I think he's athletic enough to play those guys too in press coverage, and he's athletic enough and he's smart enough to play curl flats and things like that if you want to get exotic with him. So
Yeah.
I really like his upside a lot. I mean, he has tons of potential with Darien Porter.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I am in the same way. Like every time I watch this film, I'm just so happy he's like on the team and so happy they were able to get him. And I just feel like he's going to be one of those guys that like we look back a few years from now and be like, how did that guy last to the third round? And I know there's like a bunch of other circumstances, like being a 1-year wonder, like we talked about, not playing that much even this past season, and being a 6-year guy at that and older. So I get it from that angle, but like it just feels like with his traits, with his tape, and like how he's like just how he can basically just you can put him in man or zone and he'll be fine.
Mhm.
Like, and he'll be a good player. Like some of those clips that you're like, oh yeah, he's giving up some separation. Like if that's the worst of him getting beat, I will take that.
Exactly.
Like that the fade where you're like, yeah, he's getting beat. It's like, okay, he's getting beat by a half step. That's going to happen. And again, with 4.3 speed and longer than 33-inch arms, you can make up for it. So it's like if that's as bad as it gets, like I'll live with that all day, every day of the week. And again, every time I watch him more, it's like, how did this guy slip through the cracks for so long and end up making it? But hey, Raiders benefit, and hopefully they get a hell of a player, hell of a corner for years to come.
Yeah, it has to be the age thing. To me, I think that's a little bit where he fell. I think, but
yeah, for sure. And that's going to be the one to point back to. But it feels like we're going to look back on that and be like, yeah, that was kind of silly. That was kind of stupid. Like just one of those things that doesn't make sense in the NFL level. But and then we'll spend the next like 4 or 5 years trying to find the next one, and they'll flame out.
Yeah,
like that's how it goes usually.
All right, let's get into Ashton Genty.
All right, we're going to start off with a few of the swing passes, which I thought were probably one of his more like transferable ways that he can make plays as a receiver. Again, basically what they're just doing is giving him long handoffs, giving him these like opportunities in open space. Like I think this tight end here is going to get called for a hold or something like that. And I guess technically this isn't a missed tackle because there's like a little bit of a block, but like you can see, like this is where the running back's heels take over. He catches the ball, immediately makes a move, makes that guy miss, and then ends up just getting up the field and get it for an easy first down. So really all you're trying to do is it's just get him the ball in open space and let that first guy miss, like we were talking about at the beginning of the show. Again, I mean, the nice jump cut here. Boom.
He looks skinnier too.
Yeah, a little bit. Maybe put on some extra weight. Basically the same thing here. Almost the same play, except this time he had a free defender coming at him. And again, just give him the ball. This is just a one-cut outside zone run, basically. Except the beauty of it is you get guys like this, the 42 here, the linebacker who's coming in hot because you got to catch up to Jeanty, and then 2 coming at an awkward angle. And he just uses that to his advantage, makes that guy miss, runs through an arm tackle. I mean, I guess technically that guy makes a tackle, but I'll take 5 yards after contact every day of the week. And then 1st and 10 becomes 2nd and short. So yeah, this is a lot of what he did in 2023, or at least in the 3 games I went back and watched, were these swing routes. And again, we get to a few of the other ways too, but just giving them long handoffs. And what I liked about this one too, like I'll back this up. This kind of showed off his like running back skills, and we'll see this more with the screens here in a second. Like if you watch this block by 86, who looks like he's probably a tight end split out wide, going up against a DB, like what you're going to see Jeanty do is he's going to catch the ball and then subtle because he's already out here, but he sets up this blocker, forces this DB to keep coming wide by working wide for a couple steps after with the ball in his hands. And that just opens up that inside lane we've talked about with him in the past. And right there, I mean, he goes untouched to get the first down. See from the end zone view, get a good view of that cut. Boom. Again, just great job. Keep pressing this way, and 12 is going to keep widening then, makes this receiver's job a little bit easier. And just get up the field. Stick that foot in the ground. Basically outside zone at that point.
Yeah. I mean, but Chip Kelly's watching these swing routes, so he's like, oh, wow. I get this.
Exactly. It's like, oh, he can run zone. Sorry, Raheem. This one I like too because he shows a little power too, like on this tackle attempt. Just runs through a linebacker.
Jesus.
Poor little Colorado State dude, probably gonna be an engineer or something. I don't know. Just kaboom! Train's coming through. it's always defeating when someone who's like 5'8" just trucks you like this.
Damn.
I've been on the wrong end of that. Trust me, I'm speaking from experience here. Yeah.
Oh man, that's a penalty that I think.
Yeah, maybe probably get flagged. Yeah. This one against Washington here, little screen pass again. Kind of hinted at this at the end with the swing passes here, but same kind of thing. Like basically, I mean, the only difference between a swing route and a screen really is the offensive line's getting out and blocking for you instead of the receivers. But like same kind of thing. Like catches it, takes a couple steps this way to set up this block here by the guard. Hard to see with the shadows here, but there's a defender right there. Sets up that block, make one subtle move inside. Then we just put that guy in the blender and in the open field, run through a little arm tackle, and it's 6. Get a better view of it here, of that move.
It's super interesting watching this because he just looks so more agile here.
A little bit, yeah.
Right?
He does look leaner. He looks like he probably has a little bit less of a belly, a little more hips.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you see it, like, boom. Attack this way a little bit and cut it inside subtly to open up this big old rushing lane.
I like that. Yeah. Ooh, so sad.
Oh, that I didn't realize that. That's I can't say his name. He's got like it's Udafin Olafish. I'm not gonna stop myself. But anyway, This dude got drafted for this linebacker from Washington. He's a pretty good athlete, pretty good backer.
Just stiff arm.
Made a miss. Like whoop, stiff arm. Run through that tackle unimpeded. Go score.
That's nice.
Another screen here against Washington. He had 100 yards against Washington. I think at least 75 of them had to be on these screens. This one was a little bit more just great defense or great play call for the defense. It looks like I think they're in man here, and they might get picked. Some of the linebackers might get picked, trying to go pick them up. Yeah. It looks like the guy was just hyping up. Comes way too far inside, and then he has a lot of green grass. But even so, make the first guy miss, even if it happens 30 yards down the field.
Yeah.
Oh, you think you see 5 Udafin's speed there? Shout out Bishop Gorman High School, Vegas native. Chase him down, but
this is super interesting. He just looks faster, and I wonder if he should lose some weight a little bit.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Again, this time against San Diego State, another screen, set up pretty well, but same type of thing with just the vision. Like you see the little cutback right there, like on top of it too. Just long handoffs. That's really what it was. I was kind of again. When I say I was disappointed, I was just because I wanted to see if he was doing like, some Texas routes or some choice routes. Now they just gave him the ball in space and said, here, Jeanty, go make a couple guys miss, and you can't go unnoticed with this hurdle.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like I like that. You're showing this because Chip Kelly is good. He's cooking up stuff like this with him.
Yeah, he's
like, it's a great catch too.
Play action double reverse screen. Jeanty.
Go back to that catch. Go back to the catch a little bit. It's a great catch.
Yeah, I like that earlier too. Yeah, he'll have a better one later on too that I'll talk about on one of the checkdowns. But yeah, again, ball's not perfect. Again, quarterback play at Boise State has not been great. Ooh, he one-handed that. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, that's what I said.
A little one-hand snag. Yeah. So this is probably the most encouraging that I saw from him. That like gives me promise with him as a receiver, is he has pretty good hands, strong hands, or at least he did in 2023. And then on top of it, again, the running back skills after the catch.
Yeah.
I think this next one too, he might have another. Yeah, gonna be another nice hands catch. I was mistaken. This one looks like a little. This one's again schemed up. We're getting into more of the check downs here. This one was schemed up pretty well. They're gonna have the tight end like pick the defender, and I don't know what 12's doing here, coming too far inside. But so it's opened up for him. What I do like, again, make the grab. Hey, we'll take what the defense gives us and tightrope the sideline to get the first down. Again, not the biggest highlight, but this kind of was what it was. More show to show, or I included this more show to show what he did as a receiver. This time when we split out wide, going to run a little Hank concept at the top of the screen. And what I liked about this one is this corner does a pretty damn good job of recognizing the play. Like he's playing looks like cover 2 here or some sort of a some sort of underneath coverage where he's got to stay deep to honor the outside or the vertical release from the receiver. But he does a pretty good job of reading the route and breaking on it. I mean, we'll see where the ball is. Like right now, he's already breaking on it with the quarterback just getting back to throw it. And he makes contact with Jeanty shortly after the catch. But what Jeanty does really well is he, one, hands catches it, and two, brings it right into his chest. And then you can see, like right here, starts to protect himself, knowing the contact's coming. I mean, that's a decent catch in traffic. Now, obviously, it's second and 20 when you get a 5-yard gain, so I'm not trying to hype up a 5-yard catch too much. But when we're looking for traits and stuff like that, nice little contested catch or catch in traffic.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. Let's see if we can see anything on the end zone clip. This might be one where don't need to see this angle.
Their cutter's like, you're not getting any passes.
That's weird to me. I mean, I guess they just wanted to save him for the running game, but
I guess so, man.
This one again, just another simple check down, a little simple route out of the backfield against zone coverage. What I like too is he lets the ball like turn him right to get up the field, and on top of it, and that kind of just like spins him upfield to add some extra yak. So 1st and 10. Instead of him just like catching the ball and going down for a yard or two and being 2nd and 5, now is 2nd and 3. Yeah. Again, just let the ball turn him, go upfield, get the pads down too, to make sure we tack on some extra yards. This was the one where I was really impressed with his hands because, this is a pretty good concept where they're designing it for him, where like basically these two guys are running clear out routes against man coverage, and the ball isn't perfect. I think might have a coverage break here. Maybe this actually I think it's cover 4, so it's a perfect play call for what they have. But like you're gonna see like with him running the flat route, his momentum's coming this way, and the ball's gonna be on his opposite shoulder. So that's not an easy catch to make. So he's got to make an adjustment, jumps up in the air to kind of slow himself down. And on top of it too, like we'll see another nice hands catch right here. I know you can't see the ball because of the shadows, but again, just plucking it out of the air, showing off some wide receiver skills. And on top of it too, whoop, make one guy miss.
Yeah. Also turning his body in midair while he's catching it too.
Yeah, the body control too. Yeah, for sure. Like, boom. Get a good example. I mean, that ball even ducked a little bit. Brings it in. So
that's top notch right there. Let's say that. Yeah, that's top notch stuff. Go ahead.
I was going to say, so that was like my biggest takeaway, that like from those clips. Again, the route tree wasn't impressive. I'm still not convinced that he can be a great guy in the passing game in that regard. Like, is he going to be someone that you can put on choice routes and be able to create separation? I'm still not convinced on that end of things. Yeah. But the biggest takeaway I had with him as a receiver, and that was the most encouraging, were the hands, because he looked like he was a national hands catcher. I don't think there was a single body catch in any of those ones we saw. And I mean, you pointed out the one that was high anyway, and he basically one-handed out of the air, and the other one that he's making an adjustment on and hands catching. So I think that's what gave me the most like intrigue of like, okay, yeah, he can do this. It's just a matter of can we iron this game out? And it might just simply be like the fact that they didn't really like use him in that regard in Boise State, because they were just running him into the ground in the running game. So maybe they give him a break on the passing downs, especially this past year. But yeah, that's definitely the encouraging part is those hands are pretty damn nice. So I don't know what happened this past year. We had the 3 drops, but maybe on concentration or something like that. Maybe he's getting tired from all the carries, but
maybe. Yeah. But yeah, that is encouraging just because, I think if somebody can design swing routes, it'd be Chip Kelly. Chip Kelly could find ways to get him the football, different ways to get him some touches, other than just, running the football. I mean, that's what you have to do in the NFL. Get him some touches where he's, and then kind of switch it up, or maybe he ends up running wheel routes and things like that. Because I think if you have hands like that, then maybe you can make some contested catches and things like that. So I think that's a little bit of untapped potential we're seeing.
Yeah. I can see that.
In my opinion, a little untapped potential. But damn, man, he must have gained some weight. I don't know how big he was playing at Boise State, because he was, that might be how he looks at the combine, like 218 or something like that. He must have been playing like a 230 or something like that. Because that dude was not small like that. He looked more like he looked more like RJ Harvey size when I was looking at that.
A little bit smaller and leaner. Yeah. Let's see if they have
Super
his
interesting.
see if Boise State has his like previous. Oh no, they don't have it. I was trying to see if maybe they had his like listed weight differently. Let's see.
Super interesting, man. I was like, wow, like, he just looks like a leaner, and then he was a little bit more agile, you know. So you just seem more athletic, I guess. That's what I'm saying. Like, kind of, I'm it's been a little bit, tiny bit worried about his overall athleticism, but like watching that, I'm like, oh, interesting. Yeah. So that was nice to watch. That was good. That was good to see.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you can catch, obviously. I mean, that's the best takeaway for that.
Yeah. I was messing around just looking at it. It looked like they had him listed at 215 both years. So I mean, that could mean absolutely nothing. But yeah, for sure.
I don't know, man. I don't know. All right. So yeah, that's the show for today, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Two players that we think could have an impact. Year one for the Raiders, Darien Porter, Ashton Genty. Of course, we're to keep talking along, talking about OTAs and maybe look at some more undrafted guys. And I think we got some requests. I gotta go look back, go look at the comments, see what requests we got for undrafted guys. But we'll do some more of those, of course, and then get into the off season and start probably getting ready for the season. Maybe looking at Brock Bowers, DJ Glaze again, probably, some of these young players that didn't get to play too much. Kind of deep dive into like Tyree Wilson again or something. We'll figure it out, right? Kind of get ready. Yeah. Camp battles.
For sure.
We got you guys. We're gonna have you guys going during the off season. But like I said, hit the subscribe button. Subscribe. We are out of here. Peace.